Okay, what's going on, Lotus Tribe? It's your girl Gal, your modern day philosopher and spiritual guide, here to assist you in showing up being the best version of yourself. So, I just spent an hour taking my kids, and I'm not liking this lighting. I feel like I look so dark. I just got done with my children's school photos. I'm gonna tell you one thing. This mothering, like, imagine being the provider, like having to balance the masculine and the feminine energy. And I see, why people sometimes get so discouraged, or why people just sometimes settle in certain places in their life for such a long time, because it does become very difficult. It does become difficult. It does become difficult. It does become difficult. And you have to remain courageous. You have to remain strong. You have to have that inner strength, right, to continue to move forward and see things through. For me personally, it's just been a little difficult, doing it by myself. I say a little because for the most part, I'm doing it. But when you're intentional parenting, and when I say intentional, I'm talking about emotionally investing into your children. I feel like society today does this thing where we have been so controlled in all aspects of our life by what society has told us to do, or what they have set as the precedent of the norm. You have parents that are not really investing into their children, and the most investment that they're making is literally providing them shelter, or maybe giving them a better school, or putting them in the top school in the area, but not mindful about how they're eating, and not mindful about how they're feeling about themselves, and not mindful about how they're feeling, period, or just not mindful about how, they're thinking. And so when you say intentional parenting, you are embarking on the journey of really saying, hey, like, this is what I'm about to do. I want more for my children, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And I'm not gonna lie, that shit gets rough. That stuff gets rough. Especially when you have more than one child. You're investing to each and every one of those children, hoping that you're not neglecting them. And with a regular, when we talk about society conforming you, with a regular normal salary that you're typically getting from these places, knowing that things are worth a lot more, your time is worth a lot more, your energy is worth a lot more, it takes real strength, it takes real courage, and it takes faith, and definitely leaning into a higher power. Each child is different. Each temperament is different. Each child is going to need something different. Each child is going to perceive their childhood and upbringing different, because we are all individually our own uniquely designed. And so a lot of times that can be very, very difficult, when you're doing it by yourself and you don't have that, invested partner to take it to the next phase. In this time of separation that I've been in, I have been able to really sit with myself, the decisions that I have made, the choices that I have chosen to embark on, and that saying of what you do right now sets the trajectory of your future. And sometimes when you hear that, it's like out of sight, out of mind. You really don't take in exactly what is being advised. No, what you do right now in this moment sets the trajectory of your future to come. And so I say that because I go back on some of the decisions that I made, and the partners that I have picked at some point in my life, and I was living blindly, you know, a bit, right? Because we want to be careful about what we say and what we're choosing to communicate and put out in the world. But it is not a journey where it just comes easy. It does take hard work. It does take reflecting. It does take looking at yourself and saying, what do I need to do, or who do I need to become to provide my children the best tools? And what I notice about a lot of parenting is that, or parenting that I have experienced, or parenting that I've seen take place within the collective that I've had so far, it's like, oh, I'm the parent, I say this, so this is what needs to be done. There is no talking back. There is no, let's have a conversation about how it is that you feel this way, or why you feel this way, and let's communicate exactly what can be done. You know, trying to become this different version of myself has not been easy. It's been mornings where I wake up and I am in tears. Especially when it comes to your children and your seed. I can't speak for everybody. I know mothers that don't have that connection. I know fathers that don't have that connection and that urge, and their children being their muse to be better and want more for themselves. And so it takes courage. It truly does. And I know I keep saying that, but for me, it's like, your children don't ask you to be here. You bring your children into the world. And so to not have integrity, to me, because it's integrity, it really is. It's integrity. It's saying, I'm bringing these children into this world, and so with the best of my abilities, I'm gonna try my best to give them all that they are deserving of, through sleet, rain, snow, whatever. To me, you don't get to make your children suffer because you are not willing to do what it takes for you to show up and be the best version of yourself. Whether that is emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, physically. I'm not saying that you're not going to have to work to get there, but to just decide that you're not going to do it. And this is a message to myself. This is a reminder to myself. To me, it's completely unacceptable. You do it for your children. You do it first and foremost for yourself, but you do it for your children. Imagine those therapy sessions you sit in and you have conversations with your therapist, and they have to touch on the parenting that you had, and you realize, like, wow, I suffered quite a bit. Why would you put your children through that same experience? Why not say to myself, what is it that I have to do so that I do not repeat this cycle? What things, even though they may be difficult, even though I may suffer in the moment, what cycles do I have to break so I'm not allowing this to continue for generations and generations and generations to come? I'm so bright, and it's really pissing me off. And then I just got very dark. I don't know what's happening with the camera right now, y'all, but I'm assuming that I may not need to be recording right now. You know, what do you have to say for yourself? Don't you owe your children the best? Don't you owe your children the best? I'm starting to get a little oily, but not that oily. I tried this new makeup out and it's all right. But yeah, what do you owe your children? You owe your children everything. You owe your children everything. You owe your children everything. You owe your children the ability to show up. You owe them everything. No one else owes them anything but you. As a parent, mother, father, indifferent, giving your best self. Your children deserve that. If anyone else, your children deserves that. You deserve it, but your children deserve it.